It is fitting that this ceremony follows that held this morning at Gallipoli. Many who fought here were veterans of the Anzac landings and the battles that ensued. Some had been wounded there, and all were affected by the tragedy and sacrifice of that campaign. At Gallipoli, they had won a deserved reputation for courage, bravery, toughness and mateship. They were described in a poem in the December 1915 edition of Punch as the bravest thing God ever made. But none could have imagined the horror of Fromelles, Poitiers, Bullecourt, Passchendaele and the other battles too many to mention. Or the wet, the mud, the extreme cold, the misery. The memorial behind us is a stark reminder of the sacrifice made. Inscribed on it are the names of almost 11,000 Australians. Names of Australians who were killed during the bloody battles across this land, now almost a century ago. For many, these names bring you here today. They were your grandfathers, great-grandfathers, great-uncles. And in the cemetery on the slope behind us, one of those silent cities of the dead, are more than 2,000 graves, 780 of them young Australians who would never come home. They remain forever here in this sacred ground, lovingly held to the bosom of France, with those at home left to suffer the loss, pondering what should have been. As one, Walla Miranda, so painfully put, they will never come back, our stalwart men. They will never come back, our splendid men. And beauty weeps in the land of the morn for the flower of love that will never be born. Of the more than 295,000 Australians who served on the Western Front, some 46,000 made the ultimate sacrifice. Our story of war, then and now, is one of ordinary men and women doing extraordinary things. They are stories to be told down the ages. So many Australian families have stories to tell. Stories like those of my 4 great-uncles who served here on the Western Front. 2 were among the men from the Snowy River. Brothers Joseph and Simon Turner enlisted from Adaminaby in New South Wales. Joe was killed in action while with the 35th Battalion on the 29th of July 1917. He was 25. He's buried at Bethlehem Farm West Cemetery near Messines in Belgium. His brother Simon was killed 4 months earlier on the 2nd of April at Nouriel, about 40 kilometres from here. He's buried at Le Bouquier Communal Cemetery, south of Bullecourt. My family's experience of sacrifice, loss and sadness is one shared by so many other Australian families. Every town and district in Australia was affected by the Great War. This memorial behind us stands as a permanent reminder of the sacrifice made by Australians in that war. At the time of its dedication, King George VI said, "They rest in peace, while over them Australia's tower watch and ward." As Dorothea McKellar wrote, "What does the world, our mother, remember while empire dies? Honour and dreams and courage and everything else goes by. Lost in the dust of her going, lost in time's whelming seas. Mother, forgetful mother, you shall remember these, lest we forget."